What is up, Run Pure Sports? We got the Swing for the Fences show. I am not Holden. I'm not Mangone. I'm JSU. I'm putting in double duty today because I wanted to hang out with my boys. We got DC. We got Big T. We brought the heavy hitters in for this show. DC, I'll start off with you, man. How's it going?
Things are good. Yeah, no complaints over here. Got a little day baseball going on. Nice little slate tonight, and another day of baseball. What more can you ask for?
There you go. And guys, if you haven't checked out the podcast, DC does a podcast pretty much every morning, Monday through Friday. DC, why don't you give them a quick rundown on the pod?
Yeah, just talking, that game's the slate of baseball, kind of a first look, initial reaction type of pod, a little bit of, sometimes recapping the night before, what happened in those games, and kind of rotating people. So we do it pretty much every day, Monday through Friday, except when the main slate is early games, which is the case tomorrow on Thursday, right? It's all early games, so people wouldn't really have time to listen to it, and I'd just be I'm sure I'm on the show tomorrow, early on, so not really a huge point to do it then, but pretty much, 4 or 5 days a week, just search Run Pure Sports wherever you listen to podcasts, and you'll find it, no problem.
Yeah, there you go. A nice free source of, good, knowledgeable stuff dropped by DC and the whole crew. DC has a bunch of different guys on, so make sure to check that out. Also, good reminder, tomorrow's show, it is a day slate, so don't forget, 11 a.m., DC with a few other guys will be on this show tomorrow. 11 a.m. is the show start time. That's Eastern time, so make sure to check that out. But we got to bring in the other heavy hitter, my man Big T in the 2-hole. What's up, Big T?
I mean, I love the shows where I'm the third most valuable player on the show. I mean, I got two heroes on here with me. God, I love the shows where I'm the third. I'm in the 3-hole. I love being in the 3-hole.
You were in the 2-hole.
When you're the third best guy on a 3-man booth. There's no pressure on you. You can just give the takes and listen to the winners from these two other guys.
We starting the stroking early. Okay, Big T. I see how it is.
Only one of us on this show has been on a commercial for DK. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, commercial making fun of how slow the person is. Stop. If JSU was on the commercial, they wouldn't have said silly slow.
I mean,
they might have said silly little fella. They might have said that.
Yeah, I'm sure there would have been a short joke in there or something like that. They would have put me, on like a 8-foot hoop or something like that, or a 7-foot hoop. I've been right next to it. They would have done something like that, short hoop. Joke. But I wasn't on it. DC, have you been on a DK commercial?
I haven't. And after my ranting against them and their dealing with the rain out last week, I don't know. I might have to win 5 Milli Makers to get on the DK commercial. So it might be a while for old DC making the DK commercial.
What show DC. Were we talking about that yesterday where these guys, it's in it was with DC.
Yeah, of course.
It's in the rules and regulations. They've done that all. K Fallick had an issue with it too later in the day where, come on, DK.
I'm still kind of confused by it, to be honest with you. I'm still confused by it. So whatever. I don't know. I'll figure it out as I go. I'm not a real rules, and I don't really look at the updated rules and regulations either. So I don't know what they want from me. Maybe they should send me like an email update saying they updated.
That'd be nice. I don't even. Where do you even find the terms and conditions? I don't even know where to look.
I mean, I'm sure it's somewhere, but I don't know. I'm sure I'll find it during the show. I'm going to find out where I can even find the rules.
Could come into play tonight. We got some rain in Boston, so if this game gets postponed, you can swap out your players up after the game, I guess. I don't know what the deal is.
So you can play Boston, and then if the game gets postponed, you just can easily swap them out. I have no idea. So I'm going to find the rules first, but don't forget,
if I ever try to take advantage of this new rule, I know I'm going to get screwed somehow and end up losing my players.
Yeah, all your dudes are going to be locked.
That is the issue, really, is I want to take advantage of this rule, but it's going to end up screwing I won't even try. Yeah, we'll figure it out. But guys, don't forget, hit the like button, hit that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe. It'll notify you every time we come on for these free shows, which is, pretty much multiple times in a day, Monday through Friday. And on the weekends, we have free shows too. So make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't just hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe as well. Boys, let's kind of dive in You already kind of talked about, a spot where we could have some rain issue DC. Give me a nice overlook on the slate as a whole, and then let's dive into the pitchers.
Yeah, it looks like, especially for pitching, a pretty narrow player pool for me. I don't think there's a ton of guys that I'm really willing to roster, which is fine. I don't have a problem saying limited to these 2, 3, 4 guys. I think it is that type of slate. I think just the one weather game in Boston that I'm seeing, so should be fine. Even that game I think could play. We'll see. But yeah, overall, I think a pretty good slate, and a lot of different places you can go with offense, which is typically the case when I can only find 3 or 4 pitchers that I like. It means there's going to be a lot of offenses that are available and good plays. So I think you'll see ownership spread out with hitting. I don't think there's going to be one stack that necessarily dominates ownership or anything like that. So that's always fun. And yeah, a lot of different ways you can go.
Perfect. Tony, what about you with this? Just a slate like overview, just real quick, something. Give me something on the slate here.
Yeah, super similar to yesterday. We got a bunch of pitchers at the top, and we got not a ton I like in the cheaper range, just looking through it. But these pitchers at the top are so elite that it kind of just narrows your path, at least for me. I don't really think you need to go off this. There's a ton of hitters. Like we say this every slate, but you can always find cheaper hitters to make the pitchers work. And today's no different for me. I mean, these guys at the top are going to crush, and it's just a matter of which one we want to get on. We'll always find the bats for you, though. The bats will be the easy part.
All right, well, we're going to dive into those pitchers and give you our favorites. But before we do that, I just want to shout out the kid who is going to keep the good mojo going. We're going to have a nice little giveaway at the end of this show. So at the end of this show, make sure you're still listening, because we're going to do a little giveaway. We'll talk about what we're giving away at the end. But the kid is going to, keep the mojo going, the good mojo, and he wants to give back. He had a nice little day yesterday where he got staked on a $1,500 ticket, and he ended up coming in the green. And it's always good to come in the green. He placed, I think, ended up winning $3,500. So he placed 53rd, put up 135, and I saw him in the Discord talking about it. He pretty much woke up to the win, going to sleep thinking he was pretty much done, and those Tampa Bay bats got him to the winner's circle in the end. Tony, I know you were talking about those cheap Tampa guys.
No, I like his team the best because it's literally straight from our show. And I'm not like, he makes his own team. We don't ever want to say like, this guy just went from the show, but he did. I mean, he played DC's Texas bats. He played my Tampa bats. He played the good pitchers. Yeah, it didn't get to the top. We didn't like totally crush, but it was literally all the plays from the show, and he won 3,500. So
listen, I was, we were DMing a little bit about his lineup and how he's going to route there. First of all, congratulations. But I got to say, you're going to sleep. You got the $1,500 sweat going on. Then I can never sleep until the slate's over. What's the deal with this?
Especially in baseball, because it's a low-scoring slate. Like,
yeah, exactly. But I will say, yeah, my Texas stack that didn't turn out well. I knew I was screwed in the first inning when Joey Gallo launched. He's 2% owned. He hits one. The Twins announcers are like, and there's a high drive way back to center, and then Buxton catches it one inch short of a home run. And so Texas was a little disappointing. He did have most of the good guys there, but yeah, Tampa went off. Kiermaier and Meadows, I think, combined for like 60
almost
fantasy
60,
points or something.
yeah.
So maybe he had kind of given up and gone to sleep. I could see that being the case.
Yeah, well, no, and maybe it was one of those things where he was just trying to, turn the tide around. Maybe he was thinking, okay, you know what? Let me go to sleep. Let me change it up a little bit, and hopefully I wake up to a winner. And he did. I mean,
it reminds me a little bit of JSU last week when he went to sleep and woke up with $200K in his account.
This is not true.
That's like a once a week thing for JSU. So I get it.
This time he was actually sleeping though. Like,
no, this is not true.
Dead asleep.
This is not
true. That sounds
true.
rich. Can you imagine being that rich where you're winning $200K and you're just sleeping? That would never happen to me. I wouldn't be.
No.
All I know is that usually my friends call or text me during my sweats, and didn't get any phone calls. Didn't
How
get
do you
any
know
text
the phone
messages.
didn't ring? You were sleeping.
No, I know. I checked my call history. I know you didn't call me. You didn't even know. He even admitted that when he was watching the game and saw the home run that like pushed me over the edge. And he was like, I didn't even realize that helped you. So don't even go there, Big T. We could get into this right now, but don't even go
how
there.
rich.
No, someone goes to Denver and just forgets about everyone else, just worries about himself and his family.
Oh,
and
I
his
called
kids.
DC. DC didn't answer me though. He screamed. I didn't forget about him.
Appreciate it, Tony. Thank you. All right. Well, you forgot about everyone that did not live in Denver. Your old pal JSU just sitting there. But hey, we got through it. I got through it. I'll live. That day was fine. I'm happy with it. So I'm gonna be thankful and move on. Right, DC? I'm not gonna complain.
No, we're keeping the good mojo going here. No complainers at RPS, except for
That's right.
me when draft.
DC froze on us. Tony, look at that mug. He's frozen too.
He's back. I see.
Oh,
moving.
there he is.
That's what happened
All right.
yesterday too. I gotta check out what's going on with the internet at the new place here. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, it's a new place thing.
Yeah.
You thought
He
getting out
got
of the
the
basement.
kid hooked him up. The kid got him out of the basement after yesterday.
Exactly. I got the rent money from the kid. He doesn't take much to get me in a little 1-bedroom shack here in the suburbs of Denver. So thank you to the kid for the rent money. I'll be back in the basement in a couple months, but for now, I got some new internet. It's gonna be good.
There we go. All right. Well, with that new internet, DC, let's bring it over to baseball. All right. And let's talk some baseball. I want to talk pitcher. You talked specifically, there were 4 guys that you had interest in. Let's break down those 4 guys.
Yeah. I mean, at the top, I think that the top 4 pitchers are all pretty good options. That's Shane Bieber, Yu Darvish, Walker Buehler, and Freddie Peralta. But I do think Shane Bieber kind of head and shoulders, not head and shoulders, but number 1 clearly for me. The matchup against Kansas City is just okay, but Bieber is just so good. He's got the longest leash, I think, of any pitcher in baseball. He's been over 100 pitches in all of his starts, averaging 110 pitches per start, which is just insane, in 2021. Strikeouts are there every single start, 11, 9, 13, 11, 12, 12. Those are Shane Bieber strikeouts per start. They're just phenomenal. Good park to pitch in Kansas City, 10.4K for Bieber. It's just too cheap. Like, he's not as good as DeGrom, but he's not far behind. So I do have him firmly ahead of Yu Darvish. I don't know if that's, the common thought with Bieber, because Darvish, I think people will see the matchup, in the National League against Pittsburgh, who I think is worse than they are, at least in my opinion, and maybe go to Darvish over Bieber. But Bieber, number 1, clearly for me. You can definitely play 2 of these guys and find enough value bats if you want to. But Bieber, the guy that's going to be kind of the first guy into my lineups tonight.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're going to get there when we talk about hitting, because I assume if you like 4 pitchers on this slate, there's a good chance that in some of your lineups you could just pay up for both, right? So we'll get into
for sure. Yeah. So I rank them basically in the same order that they're priced, which I know is not the most exciting of takes, but Bieber, Darvish, Buehler, Peralta, all 4 guys in play, but I do think Bieber, for me at least, firmly ahead of the other 3.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, because I think Bieber overall, like, in my opinion, I think he's the better pitcher right now. But you look at what Yu Darvish has done, and you're going to say, well, he's been pretty damn good himself, and he's right with them.
No question.
I think a lot of people are going to end up picking and choosing. Maybe they play them both. Tony, what do you think? I know you're a big guy when it comes to paying up for 2 pitchers and just finding the cheap bats. Is this a spot where you think you might just pay up for both guys and figure out the rest?
Yeah, I mean, these guys are very elite. And so I might like Freddie Peralta the most too. Like, Freddie Peralta sticks off the page to me against this Phillies team, where I look at the lineup. This lineup is terrible. And I really don't worry about that many guys in there. Yeah, I mean, they got some decent bats, but they're righties like Real Muto, Hoskins. I don't know. Like, I think Freddie Peralta is right there with these guys. But the hard part is man, these guys are elite. Like, you look at Darvish, the dude has been incredible. Bieber's been incredible. It's really hard to decide. I'm definitely not going to play Walker Buehler, I think, just because you can't play all these guys. We always talk about it. I don't want to play all four of these guys. And I clearly think he's my fourth. Like, I really like you, Bieber, and Peralta more. I don't think I can play Buehler over them. So he's going to be the one I fade. Maybe I think I got 3 or 4 teams. I'll just kind of shift between these 3. But when we get down in the cheap range, I want to ask DC because it's his team. This Lewis Thorpe dude is projected for a shit ton of points for 4K.
No, don't play Lewis. Don't play Lewis.
Why is he projected for so many points?
He's real bad. Listen. I also recommended against JSURab yesterday, who ended up doing okay. He got pretty lucky, in my opinion. I don't know. I haven't seen the projections on Lewis Thorpe, but he's not any good. I really would recommend against playing him, even at 4K.
These are the slates, too, where I struggle with it because, if he's 4K, just say he does crush and gets 16, it still might not be enough because these studs could get you 35 each or something where 16 is not going to do it. It's not going to cut it. So, I mean, that's the thin part for me. But for sure at the top, I think I'd rank him. I think Peralta's my top guy, but I say that he's going to be the lowest owned of the 4 too. So I really like you, Bieber, and Peralta, but I might like Peralta the most in tournaments.
I mean, here's my thing with Bieber is you look at Bieber and the strikeout consistency is just wild. Now, will he give up a few runs here and there? Yeah, for sure. Like he will give up 1 or 2, maybe 3. I don't know. But like he's getting double-digit strikeouts in almost every single game he's pitched. Yeah. The one he didn't was against the Yankees, and he had 9. Like the guy is just, it looks like 25. Like he's going to get you 25 plus fantasy points. The strikeout upside is crazy. He can get you 13 strikeouts. Like that's what I'm seeing. And
you look at that guy and you're like, how could I fade this guy? But then you click on Darvish and you're like, holy shit, how can I fade this guy?
Well, that's the other thing, though. And if you look at Darvish, he's been unbelievable, but his the strikeout consistency is not like the strikeout consistency of Bieber, but he's still been phenomenal. It's just Bieber looks in a class, honestly, where he should be by himself. But I don't know. DC, is it really just they should be that close, or is it one is way ahead to you than the other?
Yeah, I do have Bieber ahead by quite a bit. And the thing with Bieber, like Freddie Peralta's been fantastic this year, but like we don't have a long history of Freddie Peralta being a dominant starting pitcher. Like Bieber's doing this year the exact same thing that he did in 2020, right? He basically has the identical stats, even when you look under the hood at all the other, advanced metrics and everything like that. So like, I'm just so confident that like the Bieber that we've seen so far, that's who we'll see tonight. You know what I mean? He's going to get his floor, I think, is like 8 strikeouts. You know what I mean? Like Peralta, listen, when Freddie Peralta's on, he is nasty. He could mow through this Philadelphia lineup. There's no question it could happen. But his high on pitch count on the year is 93. I just said earlier, Bieber's averaging 110 pitches on the year. That's, a whole extra inning. That's just like kind of like 5-6 fantasy points right off the bat there. And Freddie Peralta, I'm just not completely convinced that he is an elite level pitcher. I know he's been pitching like one so far. His velocity's been kind of declining a little bit. He's got some crazy mechanics. He's mostly a 2-pitch pitcher. Like there are just some things where I like him for sure. On a different slate, I would be there, and I have no problem if you want to pair him with Bieber. But for me, Bieber, the guy that you need to play. Darvish not far behind. I will say that. But again, I just trust Bieber to go deeper into games more often. I think the Padres are going to be a little bit more cautious with Darvish. I don't think Darvish is coming out there for the 8th inning when he's got 96 pitches. Bieber will, if he's pitching well, he'll finish it off. So Bieber's the guy with the huge upside for me, and I think the safer floor. And then Buehler's fine too, but I just think Bieber is just kind of a class above, honestly. So he's the guy that I really want.
Here's the way I'm kind of seeing it from both you guys, because it's looking at it from a few different perspectives, where DC's kind of looking at it saying, Freddie Peralta, yeah, he's okay, but he's if he was cheaper, I think maybe you'd have a little more interest in him. But because he's so close in price to those other two studs, in your mind, you might just be thinking, I just want to try and get the money to get up to those two because I think he's too close to them and they're in a tier ahead of him.
This is overstating it, but I almost.
We'll get back to you. But then Big T, I think, is pretty much looking at it saying the ownership and the fact that this dude does have upside against a lineup that he is. That's what I mean, though. But you like the ownership. He's going to be lower.
Well, I definitely like the ownership, too, because Peralta is going to be under 20%, I think. Bieber's going to be over 50. And I like the matchup way better versus Philly than Kansas City. Kansas City's lineup is good. I think Kansas City's lineup is way better than Philly's. So that's kind of I agree with everything DC. I mean, Bieber, I'm definitely not touting against Bieber by any means. I love Bieber. But when I factor in the ownership on top of the matchup, on top of everything, believe me, I'm going to have Bieber too. But I'll probably, in an optimal situation, I want equal of all three of these guys. 50%. I don't know the exact percent. I want somewhere around 50% of all these guys, which puts me Bieber right around the field, which I don't usually do. But I like all three of these guys, so I want to spread it around as much as I can.
Tony, did you rank these three pitchers before we move on?
For me, I think it's Peralta, Bieber, which sounds bad because Bieber's the best pitcher and he's all these guys are underpriced. Like we talked about yesterday on the show with DC. It's like these guys should be 12 to 13K. They're 10K. And
I mean,
yeah,
I don't think the matchup matters for Bieber. You look at who he's faced. I mean, the White Sox a couple times, the Yankees, the Reds, who have a lot of really good hitters this year, and then KC themselves. I mean, he faced Kansas City, on April 7th and struck out 12 of them. Like he's the most down every lineup. For me, Peralta's ceiling is actually kind of close to Bieber's floor. I think that Peralta, you're never going to get a complete game shutout out of him. Bieber could easily do it. If Bieber's rolling along, he'll go the distance. You'll get that bonus. He'll put up. Bieber can put up 50 plus DraftKings points or the 58 that DeGrom had the other day. Like Bieber is capable of that. Peralta, I don't really think can get there just because of the pitch count concerns. He's just not as efficient. He doesn't hit the zone as much as Bieber does. So, I just think for me, it's just clearly Bieber. I guess I've said it enough times at this point.
So the one guy we didn't talk about in this range was Walker Buehler. And does this just mean that you guys don't have any interest in him? Is it a thing where he's just clearly the fourth guy in the pecking order? Tony, what is it to you? What is Buehler to you?
I mean, he's clearly the fourth to me. And honestly, I trust the other three guys a lot. I don't trust Buehler that much this year. He has looked better, though. Like, if it was a different slate without these studs, I would definitely have interest in him because I don't love the Cubs. I think he's a good pitcher, but we can't play all these guys. We can't play at least I can't play all four of them. There's no reason to play him over these other three. So he's just clearly fourth and clearly a fade to me. But again, I'll clarify, he is a good play. If you like him, play him. I mean, he's in a good spot. It's just I cannot play him over these three.
DC?
Yeah, I do have him over Peralta. I said I kind of.
You hate Peralta. You're hurting my feelings.
No, I'm not a Peralta hater. I just don't think he's as good as.
No, DC, go in on him. Say you don't like Peralta. Say he's a bad play.
Go in on my boy Peralta.
Ranking Peralta over Bieber is an egregious take. It just is. Not that he couldn't beat him, but if he beats him, it's going to be like 2 points. But there's definitely scenarios where Bieber puts up 50.
All I need is him to beat him by 2.
There's a lot of scenarios where Bieber puts up 50 and Peralta puts up 15, and he loses by 35 points. That's all I'm saying. Big T, I'm not going to try to convince Big T on anything. It's probably not going to work. But yeah, no, I do have Buehler a little bit above Peralta, but I do like Peralta too. On plenty of other slates, he would be up there for me. But yeah, it's Bieber with a bullet over here in deep land.
We got Uncle T in the chat. He says, I love Peralta. So Uncle T is with you. But Uncle T, no one knows who Terry Niehaus is. No one knows. All right? Change your name. Uncle T needs to be your name on YouTube. Change it. All right? If you need help, Send JSU a DM. I'll show you how to do it. It's very simple. You need to
Probably
change that
doesn't
name. No one knows who Terry Niehaus is. It could be another. There's so many Niehauses. Everyone would get confused. No one knows. Uncle T, change your name.
Tony, how many? I feel like you got this like clan in Kentucky there. How many Niehauses live within 30 miles of you?
I mean, I don't know about the word use of clan, but we have we have a lot of members. I mean, I don't know what the total count is, but we got to have. I mean, Uncle T will probably make fun of me because I guarantee he knows the number, but it's got to be in the 40s. I don't know.
Wow, yeah,
Tony, you told me you had a cheering section of Niehaus guys during the cornhole.
Yeah, they were rooting against us though. They were rooting against me and Hoop, and that was bullshit. That was not right.
Well, who are you facing though?
It was against my father and my brother.
Well, that's why. I mean, they're going for.
They didn't fare well though. We took them
two Niehauses against one. Of course, they're rooting for the.
That's what I mean. That's obviously that's obvious right there.
You hear this person pounding the shit out of my front door? Like someone's at the door just trying to beat a hole through it.
They're trying to get into the Niehaus. I hear that's
you can't even pay the electricity bill when you win $1 million. Come on, brother.
Someone wants in badly.
Oh boy! All right, we got our boy Mr. Jenkins in the chat. He's still waiting for me and Tony to fight. I don't know why he keeps wanting me and Tony to fight. It's never gonna happen. Like
if it does, I want some money on that one. I bet on Tony against. In basketball, but in this fight, if you can be the undercard for me and Siege, I'll make a little cheese before I beat Siege's ass, and it'll all be good.
Siege disappointed me last night. He got his ass kicked by J-Mac again.
Oh, did he? I didn't check that.
Yeah, I put some cheese. I put some cheese on Siege against J-Mac, and J-Mac just owned him. In the
best of 7. How did it end up going down? J-Mac swooped
4-1, and Siege was breaking keyboards again.
People don't even know what you're talking about. Like they're talking about poker. I think it was like this happened last year, and it was the famous Siege video clip of him just freaking out and breaking stuff. And it happened again, and he lost again.
They had the rematch, so I got some action because I thought it would be easy, Siege versus J-Mac. And J-Mac did. I mean, he sucked out a few times, but he won 4-1 in a best of 7. Like that hurt my wallet. I'm poor.
Yeah. Okay. All right. The Millie Maker winner is poor, so we need to help him out, guys. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you are not a member over at Rumpier Sports and you want to be a member, we got a promo code going right now. RPS Heater 25 gets you 25% off your first monthly subscription to the website. RPS Heater 25 is the promo code. Check it out. And don't forget, we're going to do a little giveaway at the end of the show. So make sure to stay tuned to the end of the show for that giveaway. Before we get into the hitters, I'm going to give you guys both one more shot because we talked about the top tier, which seems to be where a lot of the pitchers are going to come from for you guys in your pool. But let's go down to just the rest of this pool here for pitchers outside of the top tier, and give me one or two guys that you're looking at. DC, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I got two guys. Pretty much two guys, two cheaper guys. One, Robbie Ray. He's 7,200 on DraftKings. He's a bit of a weird case. Obviously spent most of his career in Arizona, went over to the Blue Jays last year, really struggled in 2020. But there was a lot of data and rumors and, coach speak, all that stuff in spring training about him kind of fixing himself. The velocity was up in spring, and that's carried over into the season. So he's throwing harder than he's ever thrown and way more strikes than he's ever thrown. If you look at things like zone percentage, first pitch strike percentage, he's way up over any year in his entire career so far. What's interesting is, with all that, you would think that the strikeouts would be up as well, right? Throwing harder, throwing more strikes. The strikeouts are actually down this year. So I'm not sure exactly what is up there, but I mean, he's been an enormous strikeout guy over the course of his career, right? We're talking 11, 12 strikeouts per 9 innings, very, very top of the league. Problem with him is he's always just walked so many guys, walk rate 4 or 5 guys per 9 innings. It seems like he's got his control, under wraps a little bit. And if that's true, he's throwing harder. I would think that the strikeouts will come, right? He's been over like 11 strikeouts per.
DC went frozen again. So as there he is. He's back. Yeah. DC wanted to finish that sentence.
Yeah, I just think Robbie Ray, a potential breakout here on our hands for Robbie Ray. You can get him cheap. The matchup is not great against Oakland, right? They do have a lot of good hitters against lefties, so that's scary. But it's a big ballpark, and cool weather, 55 degrees in Oakland tonight. He's a fly ball pitcher, so it's a good place to pitch for him. So yeah, Robbie Ray 7,200 I think is a good play. And then if the weather holds, Martin Perez for the Red Sox against Detroit. Listen, there's really not a lefty in baseball that I wouldn't play against the Tigers at this point. They're just so bad, especially against left-handed pitching, that Martin Perez, 6,600. I used him against Texas last start for similar reasons, but Detroit's just on another level of being bad. Perez was pretty good in that start. I think he's got a decent shot at 20 fantasy points here.
All right, nice. Perez was someone I was looking at. If the weather holds, yep. Big T, what about you? Any pitchers catching your eye outside of the top tier guys?
It's really hard to go down, but the two guys that I have on my list are Robbie Ray, like DC just covered. He's looked good, back-to-back couple good starts. I like the Oakland Park for pitching, obviously, huge park. Oakland's good offense, but I'm not overly scared in this park. So I like the Robbie Ray call. And then we already talked about it, but Thorpe, just because he's 4K, if I find a team that I want 16 from a pitcher, I don't mind. I'm going to play pitchers against Texas all season. So Texas is awful. I'm going to keep playing pitchers. He's 4K. I probably won't play him. DC probably talked me out of it. And how good the studs are. But if I find a build I really haven't built teams. If I find some stack that's super expensive, like I don't even know without looking, but the Yankees or something where I want to play all the stud Yankees, I don't hate just throwing a 4K guy in there and taking 16, because if the Yankees score 14 runs or something, I'll win with that 4K pitcher. I'll tell you that much. So he's at least on my list.
All right. Yeah, we got a few different pieces of news. For your boy Kirilloff is on the DL 10 days.
That's hurtful, too, because he was raking for us.
Yeah, I figured he was going on the IL today, so that sucks.
IL, sorry, DL. IL. So, and then Alex Verdugo got scratched.
Very offensive using the word DL, JSU. You got to stick with the IL.
Not as bad as Clan, but hey, we're being offensive.
With the Kentucky question.
Alex Verdugo did get scratched from the lineup, so make sure you get him out. That kind of hurts Boston a little bit. And then Joey Votto, I know over the start of the season, DC's been a big Joey Votto guy. He's going on the IL as well. He's expected to miss a month with a fractured thumb. So that
sucks too, because he was actually raking. DC called it early on too, where he was hitting bombs, and actually he wasn't choking halfway up the hosel. He was actually swinging the bat a little bit.
Yeah. Got hit by an 80-mile-per-hour changeup. Come on, Votto. You got to be able to take that one.
I got some people in the chat. Izzy saying I like Singer 5.5. We had no Singer mentioned. I saw some people in Discord talking about him too earlier. Does either of you have a take on him? Whether you like him, don't like him at all? Like, what do you think, DC?
Yeah, he's a decent pitcher. He is too cheap at 5.5K. I would way rather play him over Big T's guy Thorpe. I'll find the $1,500 for a hitter somewhere and downgrade a guy. So yeah, I mean, Singer's. I think he's kind of a league average-ish dude, right? And he's pitching in a good park. He's at home. He's against a league average-ish offense, and he's 5,500, right? So totally in play. He would be maybe fifth on the list. I do have him below both Robbie Ray and Martin Perez. I'm more likely to play Singer if that Boston game looks like it's unplayable from a pitching perspective.
Okay, so he's in play, but
for sure,
he's at the bottom of your 5-man list. So if someone
he's the cheapest guy. He's the cheapest guy I would use for sure.
Okay,
Thorpe is definitely gonna beat Singer.
No, I'm back on Texas. I'm back.
You and JSU. That's why you guys love each other. You you guys in your freaking Texas team?
I mean, DC just knows winners.
God.
What do you want? I don't know what to say.
Texas is so bad, and you guys always love them.
He hurt. I'm telling you right now, he hurt my heart talking about that Joey Gallo hit at the beginning of the game.
Oh, you guys all year you're gonna be like, we got so unlucky, the fly balls, and
that's like a J-Mac tweet. That's all he tweets. Oh, the war rooms were on all the right process.
Just didn't quite get there.
Gosh, this guy's Twitter, man. I can't handle it anymore.
Tony knows me too. I'll never ever talk about the downswings, even if it doesn't go my way. There's no way I'll ever talk about it. I'll never like straight up admit it. He knows that for a fact. I don't say things when they go right or wrong. I'll never say that stuff.
That's how we roll on the Good Mojo show here.
Never.
Take your L's and your W's in stride. You keep it. You don't keep
right.
it on to the next day. What can you do?
Yeah, it's daily fantasy.
This Texas lineup, I just pulled it up. Oh God, it's bad. Oh, you guys like this Texas? It's so bad.
I love how DC laughed at Tony about the 4K pitcher, and now Tony's coming back laughing at me.
I mean, they got some dude named Andy Ibanez in the 6 hole. Oh my God! Woo! Did he win 2K? A contest?
Is he 2K, Tony?
He better be.
You love your 2K guys.
I actually do like it for 2K.
This seems like a perfect play for Big Platoon.
I actually do like the 2K price. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh God, I'm
gonna end up playing this dude. He's gonna hit a bomb. And he's second base too. Oh, I love Ibanez. I'm in with you guys, the Rangers.
Hold on, we haven't gotten to second base yet. Let's get into the hitters, though, guys. We'll start with catcher. We'll work our way position by position as usual on this show. DC, I'll start here with you at catcher position. Who are your top guys?
Yeah, it's Mitch Garver up top easily for me against this Huan Yang. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but lefty for Texas, was pitched in the KBO last year. He wasn't even very good in the KBO. Now he's got to face Twins lineup. Garver, he had a really bad 2020. He was playing through injury most of that year. If you look back to 2019, Garver hit it was like 34 home runs and like 350 plate appearances, or 29, some crazy number. I think he led all of MLB in home runs per plate appearance, just smashed lefties. And I think we're back to that Garver. He's got 5 home runs already on the year. Yes, the average is low. He's going to be really bad against, like power right-handers, guys that have good sliders, stuff like that. But against soft tossing lefties, Garver is just the nuts. So 4,900 for Garver, hitting 5th in the Twins lineup. He's a priority play. He's one of those. Sometimes you have one of those plays where you're like, I'll move things around at other spots to get this guy in the lineup. So Garver for me, probably going to be my play at the day at the end of the slate. He'll be in all my lineups at catcher.
All right, so Garver is the play. DC doesn't even want to give out any more catchers.
That's the only guy I'm going to play. Yeah, it doesn't matter how many lineups I make, he'll be in there.
There we go. He's locking them in. All right, Tony, is it a lock butt situation at catcher for you, or do you have some other guys besides Garver?
Yeah, I played Garver yesterday. I hit a rope down the line, I think, if I remember right. He's looked good at the plate. I agree with DC. He's definitely the guy up top. Him and Gary Sanchez, and Gary's just been terrible. It hasn't looked good.
Don't play Gary Sanchez over Garver tonight.
No, I'm not going to. I mean, literally, even if I stack the Yankees, I would just play Garver over Gary and just get that leverage. So definitely Garver, I agree there. Yan Gomes is a sneaky kind of mid-range guy, 3,100 versus lefty in the 5 hole. I definitely like Yan Gomes in that spot. I know he's decent.
He's a cheap guy. He's the best cheap guy, I think.
He looks tasty. And then I made fun of your guys' Texas team, but Trevino for the same price, 3,100 in the 8 hole. I don't mind that as a catcher. Luke Melee for 2,300. He might be the punt guy if you wanted a total punt versus Anderson. He sucks, but whatever. If you needed to make the team work. But yeah, Garver. If I can get to Garver, I'm with DC here.
Watch Big Platoon over here tout a Rangers bat at every position after making.
DC, I wasn't even going to bring it up. I was just counting the end of the show.
I shouldn't have said anything. You're right. That's my bad.
I was making a list.
That's on me.
I'll still bring it up if I see him. We'll keep a count. We're 1 for 1 so far.
Tony, I already got the count. All right. I'm listing, I'm writing them down as we go. If I was looking at it like Yan Gomes because I didn't know if I was going to have the money to get up a catcher, but I like the Garver call if I have the money to get up there. Yan Gomes, just for the price tag, he's the one that sticks out to me here. Let's move on, though. Before we hit first base, guys, don't forget, hit that thumbs up, hit that like, subscribe. Don't forget as well, we're doing that giveaway at the end of the show, so stay tuned. If you aren't a member at Rumpier Sports right now and you want to be, got a promo code RPS Heater 25 that'll get you 25% off your first monthly subscription. RPS Heater 25 is the code. All right, first base, Tony, I'm going to start here with you. What are you liking?
Yeah, there's a bunch of guys at first base. We talked about freaking Freddie yesterday, and he just doesn't look right to me at the plate. He's 5,800.
He looked so bad yesterday. I can't do it anymore. I'm
bad.
I'm jumping off the Freddie train for now.
And it hurts, too, because we talked about it on the show. Like, why did we still play him? We want it to happen, but it reminds me a little bit of Stanton. Like, when he gets hot, play him. When he's not, just don't play him. And Freddie's looked terrible. So why do we – once we see it, once he has a big game, then we'll get back in. I need to see it. I'm off of him. DJ LeMahieu, I think, is going to be crazy low-owned, like crazy low-owned. And I like the Yankees a little bit in this spot. So – I think I'd probably rather use him at second base, but up top, I definitely like him as a sneaky play tonight for this Yankees team. So I'll list him. And then, I don't know, like a bunch of these cheaper guys I think are in play. Miguel Sano against a lefty in the 8-hole, 3,300. That is a build that I can definitely get behind tonight because he's going to be very low owned. And right where we like it, 6, 7, 8 holes where they're going to be low owned against the splits, big platoon as DC calls me. Sano against the lefty, sign me up for 3,300. Mike Ford out of the 6 hole for 3K. Those are the two guys I'm staring at, Sano and Mike Ford.
Yeah, I definitely going to need some cheap guys, so that's good. One other guy I saw was Ryan Zimmerman, who stuck out to me at 3.9K. 4 hits in his last 3 games. DC, what are you thinking at first base?
Yeah, Zimmerman was going to be the guy that I brought up, 3,900. He's just been crushing it this year. So if you look at like the DraftKings fantasy points per game, you're going to see 6.5. But that's dragged down because every time he doesn't start, which is pretty much whenever they face a right-handed hitter or pitcher rather, he gets a pinch hitting appearance, right? So half of his games he has 1 plate appearance. If you look at the games he's started, this guy's going to be like one of the best hitters in baseball. I mean, he's got 4 home runs already in limited plate appearances. The other day I was on Trevor Rogers. Zimmerman just hit an absolute bomb off him. Rogers has been one of the best left-handed pitchers in baseball, so he's locked in. And he hit I think he was like 2nd or 3rd in baseball in home runs during spring training. Like he's been just crushing it for 2 months now. Yes, he's on his last legs. He'll probably get hurt. He's getting older, but right now, whatever's going on, he's phenomenal against lefties. So Max Fried returning from the injured list. Fried's a good pitcher, but not someone that you really need to fear. So yeah, I'm with you on Ryan Zimmerman. I think he's a great play. I'd like the Miguel Sano call from BigT. Sano back from the injured list, hitting 8th, but whatever. You're just hoping for a home run for him. He can certainly do it no matter where he's hitting in the lineup. I'm going to fade Freddie Freeman. I just can't do it anymore. I'm sure that means he's going to go yard today, but he won't be in my lineups if he does. And then, I don't mind Shohei Ohtani. I think you can play him on DraftKings. They need to figure that out with him pitching and hitting and all that, but assuming he's good to go, he looks like a good play too. So
he's
decent
a
options,
hitter,
but
DC. He's a hitter on this. Yeah.
Okay, but he's pitching too. I think he's starting. So
how freaking hard is it just to literally do Ohtani P, Ohtani H, and just be like, how hard is that?
I'm pretty sure I saw in our Discord someone actually asked DraftKings the question, and they got back saying he's only getting points as a hitter.
Yeah, it's annoying. Like they can't figure it out.
That pitcher and
it
whatever.
Doesn't seem like it should be that hard for like a multi-billion-dollar company, but it's what it is.
I have no idea. I don't know how they haven't figured it out.
Literally the most simple fix ever. Just he gets points for pitcher or hitter. You don't get both. How's it that hard?
just two separate players, right? Yeah, right. I don't really get it, but yeah. So yeah, I think he's a fine play, but yeah, I think Zimmerman. I think you nailed it. JSU, that's the guy that I most want. I'm a little bit worried about the wind in Washington, right? It's like 15 miles per hour wind straight in from left field for a guy that you're kind of hoping is going to like tee one off right to left field, pull it off a lefty. Could hang up there, but still, I think a really good play.
All right, I like it. Let's move on to second base. Where
There's
DC,
two
I'm
dumpsters at first base too. Before you move on, two guys that I got to get DC to make fun of me for a couple of plays at least.
Go for it.
Two guys that stick out that I think you at least if you're playing 150, put them on your list. Scope always against the lefty in the 2-hole. He's been bad, but whatever. He's 3,200 against the lefty if the weather's decent in Boston. And then Vogelbach against a righty. He's been awful, but he's 2,900. He's got power.
He's just
go ahead and make fun of it.
Too fat. He can't swing.
Oh, he's fat for sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
But he's at least got a bomb upside for 2,900.
And I put a little bit of stock into this. Like, clearly Milwaukee still thinks he can hit, right? They're hitting him like second or third every time he's in the lineup. I know he's been bad so far, but yeah, he's got power, no question about it. And Chase Anderson, not any good. So those are good calls for sure.
Just 150 guys too. They might not be your main team, but if you're playing 150, just throw a little bit in there.
Sure.
All right. Big T giving you some guys to dumpster dive with. We need it on this slate, right? I think we're going to need it at a few different positions just to give the people. So I like it. Let's give them some here at second base. DC, I'll start with you though. What are you looking at?
Yeah, not a dumpster diver. I really like Jorge Polanco up top. He's been swinging the results have been bad, but he's actually making pretty good contact consistently and has been really good over his last 5 or so games. Has looked better from the right side so far this year. 4,900. Again, I really like the Twins against Yang for Texas, and that bullpen obviously not very good either. I'll go back to my guy, Nick Solak. Disappointed me yesterday. Very hurtful, but just 5 fantasy points. But I still believe in him, especially against Big T's guy, Lewis Thorpe. Those are the two guys up top that I'm looking at. Some cheaper guys that you could play. Jake Cronenworth, 3,800. He doesn't have a lot of power, but hitter overall. But yeah, I do think in general, I kind of want to spend here. And then, we got to talk about our guy. What's his name? Ibanez, Andy Ibanez for the Rangers.
You got to talk about Big T's guy.
Yeah, no, 2K. He's hitting sixth. He looks okay. I looked up his minor league stats. Last time we saw him in the minor leagues, there was no minor league season in 2020, but in 2019, 20 home runs and 7 steals in 120 games. That's not too bad. So 2K for Andy Ibanez seems like a good salary saver there. I bet he'll end up being pretty popular, but I think for good reason.
All right. Big T, are you on board with some Andy Ibanez?
Can't even find him. I must have already deleted him, but I got to get him back in my player pool because I talked to him.
Probably in your lineup. That's what it is. He's in your lineup.
I'm looking at
it happens
the
to me
lineup
sometimes.
now.
I'm like, where is this guy? Oh, I already clicked on him.
I can't find him in there, but yeah, he's in play. So similar teams though, like where I'm starting to see some sneaky spots for stacks where Washington, Jordy Mercer against the lefty. Like these are guys I can play. He's 2,800. This Washington team, you guys talked about Zimmerman. We talked about Gomes. Robles is cheap. Jordy Mercer's cheap. These are the type of stacks that you can put with 2 stud pitchers that I like. Jordy Mercer, 2,800 against a lefty. That's the type of play Big Platoon gets behind. I like stuff like that. He's going to be low owned. Sign me up for that. Josh Harrison on the same team, second base as well. Obviously, he's good. 3,500. If you like Zimmerman, Harrison's great in that same spot as him. Colton Wong for Milwaukee. Maybe you play a little Vogie. No one's going to play Colton Wong for 4,300 for Milwaukee. Milwaukee's shown no offense. But all of a sudden, look at their lineup tonight against Chase Anderson. Wong in the 1, Vogie in the 3, Shaw in the 4. You got Jackie Bradley. You got Pablo Reyes, super cheap. Melee, a cheap catcher. What?
A lot of exciting options in that Milwaukee offense.
Yeah, I mean, Milwaukee, I want Milwaukee.
Jackie Bradley, there's a stud.
Texas fucking sucks. I want Milwaukee over Texas.
After touting 2 Texas guys, and we've only made it to second base, Tony.
Those are the only two I'm not playing Solak. I'll tell you that much.
We'll see. I'm not going to give.
I am going to play. I know one more I'm for sure going to play.
No, don't give it out. I'm not going to
give it out, but I will give out that all 3 of the guys I like are right in a nice little line. I'll say that much.
There you go. All right. Well, there you go. I'm trying to give it out, of course, Big T. Let's go on to third.
Actually,
base.
all 4 of them. 4 tasties in a row.
Well, is he at third base, Tony? Because you're up next. Let's give your third base takes here.
Yeah, so Culberson, let's just go right into it. Culberson hit a rope last night down the left field line, I believe, just on a rope. Always hits lefties. I mean, Thorpe's not going to, even though I brought up Thorpe, he's not like he's going to go deep. So, I mean, what's the Twins bullpen, DC? What do we look like, righties, lefties?
Yeah, they're pretty balanced, but they're a little tired. I think this is their 5th or 6th game in a row. So, yeah, if they knock Thorpe out early, Thorpe's not going to go deep anyway, regardless. But yeah, I think the Texas will have pretty good matchups for most of the game, basically. Yeah.
So, I mean, Culberson, 2,900. I mean, I have to lie. Do you hear that my door is just getting beat down again? Like, I don't know what's happening out there.
What are you getting? A ton of packages delivered?
No, like, it's got to be kids. It's got to be kids trying to find my kids or something. But yeah, no. So, I mean, third base, you got Culberson. Looking at the top, I don't like any of these guys at the top. You could pay up for Jose Ramirez. I'm not doing it. I'm not playing Devers. Bregman. I mean, I don't mind Bregman, but I don't need to pay up for him. Justin Turner's 6 freaking K. Like, are you kidding me? 6K. Josh Donaldson, though, against a lefty, I definitely could go with Josh Donaldson against a lefty. I always freaking like Minnesota, and they never come through for me. Minnesota owes us.
I'll be on them tonight, so hopefully they come through.
I'm on them every day. Like, they have to be my most stacked team. Like, I play Minnesota every day, and they have not come through for me yet. So it might be tonight.
They might be due. You might be due for some Minnesota. Finally getting through on the Minnesota stacks. No Uncle T. He already got his wine package from JSU. All right, it's not a second one. He's still going through the first one. How can I send him another one when he hasn't finished the wine package I sent him just a few weeks ago?
You sent me 2 wine packages. I went through the first one.
No, I mean like the one I just sent you. He's saying it's wine packages. How can I send him another package of wine if he hasn't gone through the one I just sent him?
It's not COVID anymore. Like last year at this time, there was 1 or 2 bottles going down a day. Not that much this year. I'm behind the curve of last year. The year-over-year numbers are way low.
How do I get on this wine mailing list? I can't get any RPS here. I don't get any wine.
You would love that. DC needs some wine.
Yeah.
I should send you some wine, DC. So I don't know how you
I'll
don't
pour
have an RPS
it in a box
shirt.
and then I'll drink it from there, so I'm comfortable with it.
I don't know how you don't have an RPS shirt. Like, can we get DC some friggin' RPS
So I finally
gear?
figured out what happened. So this is the truth. I went on there and sent him a message. I still have it up. Let me pull it up. It says, DC, I need your address to send you gear. There's just dead air underneath it. It's just like when I called him and he screened me out. I can't get the man gear when he screened me.
I knew the kid was going to cash in his $1,500 entry and give me some rent money to move out. So we need to make sure I was settled before I could give you my address.
DC, so all along, this was your fault?
Message is right here.
I don't know what you're talking about here, but apparently, yeah.
Wish Simon could share my screen because I got it up on my screen right now.
This is so I'm trying to back DC because I know Tony's the one who handles the gear for us. He's the one who the gear all gets shipped to, and then he sends it out. And DC didn't freaking send him his address. Come on, DC.
Well, I'll be hitting up Big T. I'll be hitting up Big T after the show. I need some RPS.
I'm gonna send him some today. We got to get him this gear.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. We're gonna figure it out for old DC. DC needs to wear some RPS gear on these shows. Then maybe
is that a Nuggets hat though? Is that a Nuggets lid? No.
This is I do have a Nuggets cup here. This is nice. So there you go. Can you see that? I don't know.
I like it.
Yeah.
Tony likes all things Nuggets, even though the Nuggets are hurting for bodies. They might be calling Tony soon.
Oh, they're not calling me. I'll tell you that much.
He's good for one possession on offense.
No,
one single possession.
I don't know.
We can't go back down this alley. We got good mojo going today. We can't go back down.
All right, DC, we'll bring it to you. We'll bring it back to baseball. Why don't you hit on the third base?
Yeah, I'm on board with Culberson for sure. Donaldson, both third basemen in that Twins game look really good to me. I do like Jose Ramirez at 5,700 if you're spending up, along with Rafael Devers. Again, pay attention to that Boston weather because we don't know for sure if that game is going to go down. Austin Riley really been heating up recently. Bad game yesterday, but I think he's a solid play against Eric Fedde, who I don't personally think is any good. And yeah, there's some dumpster guys. Travis Shaw hitting cleanup. I've been impressed with what I've seen. Again, the numbers not great so far, but sometimes you see that early in the season where players are actually hitting the ball pretty well, and the results are just lagging behind a little bit. You could play Starlin Castro or 2,900 cleaning up for Washington today, especially if you're in the little Ryan Zimmerman Castro stack. I think is fine. Third base.
As a game log guy, I didn't realize how good Jose Ramirez has been.
Oh,
Jose Ramirez has raked.
Yeah.
Whoo.
Yeah, Jose Ramirez at the top. Donaldson's a good play at the top, but Jose Ramirez is.
He has just flat out crushed. I didn't realize he'd been that good because Cleveland's been bad for the most part. He's been freaking good, though.
And I can't believe DC getting on Tony about Milwaukee guys, and then Travis Shaw, he brings him up. Tony doesn't. It goes right over Tony. He doesn't.
I already talked about him. What do you want me to say?
No, because DC was.
Of course, he likes winners. He loves Milwaukee. Keep his tally. See how many Milwaukee guys he likes by the end. Keep his running.
I should have done that. I just ruined it, though, of course. All right, we're moving on. Shortstop. DC, we need the winners at shortstop.
Yeah, I really like Polanco up top. Again, going back to that Twins-Texas game. They owe me from yesterday, so I'm going right back to him. Connor Falefa leading off, I think, is a good play. He wasn't great yesterday. I made that up. Expensive guys, I don't mind Tatis. Brubaker is okay. We really haven't talked about the Padres. They've been cold recently. I don't know quite what's going on there, but I do think Tatis is decent. Trey Turner, of course, at 4,700, always going to be in play with the power speed combo. But yeah, Polanco, kind of the guy that I'm honing in, and I think you'll get him pretty low owned. He seems overpriced, but I think the price point is fair for the matchup. And hitting six, people won't like that, but I don't have a problem with it. So Polanco, the guy I'm looking at.
All right, Polanco, Tony. Polanco's his favorite at second, shortstop. He's going to play Polanco.
Multiple Polancos.
One of those two.
Yeah.
What about you? You got Polanco. Is that your guy?
No, so it's one of my weird rules. I don't play Polanco against lefties. I got my things. I do big platoon, so it might be right, might be wrong. I like Polanco better against righties.
Might be right, might be wrong. I don't know. Just guessing over.
Yeah, it's all about feel. It's about the feel approach, DC. And Yang's not going to be in that long anyway, so it probably doesn't matter anyways. Dude's awful. But shortstop's the first spot where I don't see any cheap guys, so it's going to be a spend up, whether you like Polanco or Turner or Carlos Correa. I like a ton against the lefty in that same range, 5,100. Glaber for the same up there. It's the first spot, though, where I don't see a cheap option. So I'm going to be in that 5K range with one of these studs. The good news is they're all really good plays. I think all four of those guys are really good plays tonight. So it just depends on the construction. I like every position to have at least one cheap guy, though, just for when I'm going through. I really don't see it, though. Like, is there someone I'm missing?
No, there's not really any good cheap guys at shortstop. You're right.
Not even just ugly Vogelbach play. Like, give me Vogelbach at third somehow. Or short, I
don't think that.
He's not going to be playing short anytime soon.
That would be entertaining.
That would be awesome, though, to watch him play shortstop.
I don't think it would be. It would be awesome. I don't think they would like it either. Him playing shortstop. And this is a spot where I agree with you guys. It's just a complete spend up. Who you're spending up for? I think there's a few good spend up options. Bogart's hitting cleanup. Trey Turner. They'll probably be two of the more popular ones. I like the Correa call though, Tony. I think that's a really good call as well. So I like that a lot. And then obviously next up, we got outfield. Before we hit outfield, guys, don't forget at the end, we are going to have a little giveaway courtesy of the kid who cashed and hit for $3,500 after being staked yesterday in the $1,500 contest. So make sure to stay tuned for that at the end of the show. And also hit that thumbs up. Keep hitting those likes. We want to see those likes going up. Keep hitting them. We appreciate it as we give you guys our favorite plays in each range. And DC, we'll start with you in the outfield at the top. There's so many outfielders, but let's just start in the expensive range, and we'll work our way down.
Yeah, I mean, the two Twins guys, Byron Buxton, Nelson Cruz. Buxton's just been incredible this year. All the metrics back it up. He's made some huge strides. He's my number one. Cruz not far behind. I mean, has there been a sure thing in DFS sports over the last 5 years of Nelson Cruz against the lefty, right? Like, of course, as baseball doesn't always work out, but like we know 100% sure that Cruz just murders lefties. There's not a fluke about it. Well, again, whether or not he does it tonight, that's harder to predict, but the matchup couldn't get much better for Cruz. So I really like him at 5,400. Can't go wrong with Ronald Acuna, right? I mean, he gives him a mediocre pitcher. Acuna, what he hit his 10th home run of the year. He's got speed as well. I mean, the dude is just crushing it. So you can spend here. We talked yesterday, Big T, outfield's oftentimes a good place to spend down as well. And there are cheap options. I'll go back to Joey Gallo. He's 3,100. He can hit, Thorpe's not a guy that's going to dominate lefties in the long term. So Joey Gallo, I really like. And then, Aaron Hicks is a good play against Garcia. Just so many options at outfield, but I do think I kind of like the very top end and then spending down into that kind of near 3K range.
All right. Tony, what about you at the top range? What are you looking at?
Yeah, so up top, I mean, like we always say, there's so many dudes, but the Yankees guys, Judge and Stanton, especially Stanton. I love Stanton when he's seeing the ball well. He had 4 hits yesterday. Anytime I can get, I mean, look at this. His numbers are outrageous, actually. 2 hits, 3, 3, 3, 1, and 4. When Stanton's raking like that, sign me up. I mean, he's not even 5K on top of it. He's 4,700. That, to me, is an incredible play. I mean, when Stanton's cold, we'll fade him. When he's hot and getting that many hits, you got to be on him. Same with Judge has been a little colder, but, again, if you're playing the Yankees, he's been good, too, a bunch of hits. So I wasn't necessarily right about that. Great play there. I like the Yankees at the top. You can always play Acuna, always play Trout. I mean, you could go straight down the list like always. Buxton and Nelly Cruz, like DC said. If I'm stacking the Twins today, I'm playing Buxton and Cruz against a lefty that sucks. I'm playing Garver. Sano, a wraparound. I love the Twins today, but it starts with the outfielders. So just like always, there's a million. If I play the Yankees, I'm probably playing Judge and Stanton. If I play the Twins, I'm probably playing Buxton and Cruz. It's just a matter of where you go. Just to go in the cheap range, because I think it helps just the way we're constructing our lineups. You got my boy Kiermaier at 2K again against a lefty coming off, or against a righty. I'm sorry, Ohtani. But 2K off a big game. I always like Kiermaier down there. You got in the same game, Austin Meadows, 3,400, cheap. You got these Milwaukee guys, Avi Garcia, who I like better against lefties, but he's still 3K against friggin' Anderson. Kane is 32. Bradley, my Milwaukee team. I like Milwaukee. These prices are tasty for Milwaukee. Like always, though, at outfield, I mean, there's so many dudes. Another sneaky guy, if Boston plays, you can play both of these guys. Franchi Cordero against Mize is 2,300. And Jacoby Jones, I always play against lefties. He had 18 again yesterday, 2,400. I doubt I go there, but there's so many ways you can go in outfield. Tons of punts. More reason to go up at pitcher, too.
Yeah, Tony talked about it, too. I think that top range, it's more about, because there's a lot of really good hitters, it's more about where you're going and how you're constructing your lineup with the stacking part of it. Because, like you said, if you play the Twins – man, it's hard not to want or try and get Buxton and Cruz in your lineup together. It's a similar thing with the Yankees. Like, I think Stanton is an amazing play, and especially when he's under 5K, like Tony said. But, like, you would like to play Judge, too, if you're playing Stanton and you're stacking the Yankees. So it is an interesting position because there's a lot of really good plays up there. JD Martinez, who you guys didn't talk about, I think is solid if that game plays. and other guys. I mean, we could get into it, but the cheap range is where you're really going to find the lower owned guys where you can get some leverage. DC,
It's a dilemma on these slates, though, right? Like, if we want to play 2 stud pitchers, it's tough to play. I mean, just from Minnesota, for example, it's tough to play Buxton, Cruz, Garver. It's tough to play them with 2 stud pitchers. You're really going to have to get creative to do it. The nice thing is Garlic is cheap, but man, you're using all your outfield spots on the Twins, which is fine. I mean, I don't mind doing that. It gets you a little different, but I don't know. It's tough. You got to get creative. You're going to have to play a guy like Vogie at first base or something to make it happen.
Kevin is trying right now in the chat to, say that I'm screwing up Byron Buxton's name, saying I'm saying Buxton or Bunkston.
I always make fun of JSU.
I might be saying it wrong because I am the worst at names. So
yeah, Kevin, I would have made fun of you. I didn't hear anything crazy.
If I screwed up Byron Buxton's name, I apologize, and hopefully I say it right going forward. Yeah, but honestly,
you're no worse than the third worst at names here at Run Pure Sports because D-Rock and JT Hayes. So
but D-Rock said some classics the one day.
I'll tell you right now, though, going through, I'm not saying I'll screw up names that aren't that hard, honestly. But there are some spots.
JSU, nothing was better than when we first started Run Pure and we did the MMA show.
That was no. Actually, what was worse than that was the one time I had to do a pod with Title, and it was just me and him, and he kind of knew the names, but like he really didn't know how to pronounce them, and I was hosting it, so I had to try and pronounce them first. It was the worst thing ever. I'm not going to lie. I listened to clips of all these guys before we went on the show, and I still mess their names up on the show. Every single one of them.
I host the RPS MMA show, right? It's Saturday mornings when we have a pay-per-view card with Title and Joey Work. And especially some of the cards that are in Abu Dhabi, where half the fighters are from Kazakhstan, Russia, and you're just good Lord, man. 70% of the names they're just 13 consonants in the name. You're just man, this is brutal.
And even if you think you're saying it right, you're still probably wrong.
Oh yeah. And chat, listen, don't get on Kevin because honestly, Kevin could have been right and I could have screwed the name up. I'm not.
I think you were right. I'm on your side here. I usually make fun of you for your pronunciations. I didn't notice it this time.
No. I'm gonna go back after and listen. I'm sure I messed it up.
Buxton is pretty straightforward. I don't think you messed
it up.
I'm telling you, I'm not giving myself a pass for this one until I go back and listen. I'm going back and listen to the tape after. Simon, get the clip, send it to me. We're rolling it back. But anyways, DC, I want some cheaper guys for you specifically. I'm looking at a nice little mini stack in Texas with my guy Joey Gallo and Adolis Garcia. And that 4-5 little mini stack for Texas looks nice to me. Joey Gallo's 3.1K.
He should be 3.1K.
And Garcia is 3K. DC, how do I not play these guys here?
Yeah. What do we got? 3K Garcia, 3.1 for Gallo, 2K for Ibanez. What's Culberson? 2.9K. Man, sign me up for some Rangers bats. Glad to hear you're on the team on the right winning side here, JSU. I'm sure you will be greatly rewarded. There are other cheap outfielders, though. Tommy Pham has, if you look, what he's actually produced, just absolutely nothing. This is another situation. San Diego's a smart organization. He's leading off for a reason. He's actually making pretty good contact. 2,700 out of the leadoff spot against Brubaker, I think, is a great play. Garlic for Minnesota, he can hit. He's 2,600 hitting cleanup for them. Again, they could have put Miguel Sano in the cleanup spot, right? They think Garlic can hit. He's hitting cleanup for a reason. Benintendi, if you're not on Bieber, he's 2,500. He's been on fire. Robles, Uncle T, or not Uncle T, Big T mentioned Robles, 2,400. He's a good play. So outfield is always loaded. There are great spend ups at the top and at the bottom, but I do think you kind of want to go with the studs or find some cheaper guys here.
Yeah, I agree. Andrew Turner, let's not bring up any football talk with
Mr. Miles Gaskins. All right, we'll
That
leave
was
that.
the best. You called them Gaskins all year.
For like the full year. Like it just literally just when he starts actually getting in the end zone, I'll get his name correct. Until then, if he keeps getting stopped at the 1 yard line, he's gonna be Gaskins forever.
I had a big sweat once with Gaskin, and he was on a breakaway and he stumbled and fell over all on his own at the 10-yard line. Very, very hurtful.
And then he probably got stopped at the 1 yard line twice after that for no touchdown.
They brought in the fullback or Tua. Once they get to the 1 yard line, then Tua can throw a touchdown because he's going to throw that far. So that's good for him.
Right, exactly. There was no one more tilting than watching him in the goal line situations where they would actually give him carries and he would just get stopped constantly, stuffed. I had a few sweats with him as well, and he would rush for 180 yards too, which was the worst part. But he wouldn't score any touchdowns, and he should have scored 2, but just kept getting stoned at the goal line. Was rough. All right, boys. So I think we hit on all the outfielders' favorite stacks. Let's get into our favorite stacks, and then
Tommy fan call is good. I'm looking at it. I like DC's call. These are the plays I love where. Just for a one-off, you play Fam as your one-off, and he's so cheap. He's in. I know this shouldn't mean anything, but he's in one of the later games where he's going to end up a little bit lower owned. If that was an early game, a lot of people would play him, but just that extra hour. I don't know why San Diego's starting at a weird time, anyways. At 5:10 at San Diego time, but. I love that call, and I usually play him against lefties, big platoon. But in the one hole, I like DC's point. He brought up a good point. If these teams are still hitting these guys in the 1, 2, 3 hole, they still believe in it. So I like that call at 2,700.
Yeah, I'm with it. All right, Tony, you want to get us rolling on your top stacks as well?
Yeah, so top stacks. I like the Yankees game for my expensive bats. Yankees and even Houston. You can kind of mix some of those guys in. The problem is a lot of the guys I like are expensive in the game, but you can filter in guys like Diaz for 3,400, Miles Straw, I guess, for 28, kind of in that direction. Mike Ford for cheap. Those are the guys up top, the 2 stacks I like. But then the cheaper stacks, Milwaukee, I talked a bunch about being a cheap stack I can definitely get behind. Who was the one more team I saw that was a random team? I still like Tampa Bay, who has the cheap stack. Same guys I talked about yesterday. A-Ross, Meadows, Margot, Kiermaier at the bottom. You can use Willie Adames just to save salary or something. So those are the teams. There was one more team, but as DC talks, I'll see if I can remember who it was.
Okay, DC, favorite stacks for you?
Yeah, Twins number 1, same game. Texas number 2. Twins are super expensive. Texas super cheap, but I do like both of those teams against 2 bad lefties on the mound. I kind of like the Blue. We barely mentioned any Blue Jays, but for a low-owned stack, Chris Bassett, I don't think is any good, and the Blue Jays can certainly hit. They're a little bit interesting. I think they'll be super, super low-owned. I just don't think they're on a lot of people's radars. So kind of like that a little bit. And man, it pains me to agree with Big T, but I do like the Brewers a little bit.
That's good mojo. That's what we do on this show.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's go.
Right. I mean, they're just so cheap, and Chase Anderson is just complete trash. So it's why not? I mean, you can fit 2 studs with these Brewers.
And there's some guys that have upside in that lineup, like they just do.
I'm with you. They're a good team to stack.
I mean, they're going to probably score 2 runs for us tonight, but their prices at least
they'll be
cheap. I figured my other team out too. If DC, did you say all yours?
Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Yep.
So the other one was the Washington with the cheap guys there: Robles, Mercer, Yan Gomes, and then filter in 1 or 2 of the good guys: Zimmerman, Harris. Basically the whole lineup. I mean, there's so many cheap guys in there. Really, the only guy I don't think I would play is Schwarber, and he's cheap. So
I like Washington. I also like stacking against a pitcher coming back injury in general. He got to pitch in any minor league games. He was on the IL, and you just get the chance that he's not quite right? Like Max Fried, a pretty good pitcher, but didn't look great super great early on. Once goes to the IL with an arm injury, I mean, who knows? Like he could be a less version of himself, which would make the national stack obviously an even better play.
Love it.
That was the stack that I was going to give as my favorite. I'm glad that you guys were on it as well because I love the Nats. In Texas, obviously, I'm not going away from my boys. Big T hates it. Me and DC are on them though. We're gonna.
I might be in with you guys though, because these are the best teams. I think, in my opinion, the best way to build baseball winning tournament teams. Play two of the pitchers we loved up top, and then play one of these shitty stacks like Texas, Milwaukee, Washington, where you can play 4 or 5 guys for cheap. And then you can, most of the time, you can play 2 or 3 guys at any price because of how much you saved. So you can have 2 pitchers you love, 3 or 4 hitters you love, and then just a shitty stack to go with it, which, who knows, the shitty stack could easily go off. And you know what happens when the shitty stack goes off? You're in the winner's circle. I can guarantee you that.
Shitty stacks go off all the time in baseball. It's just
Yep.
a fact,
Yep, this is true, and that's why these, like you
Izzy in the chat always just talks trash about it. Brew Crew lineup is trash. Well, no shit. They're all 3K. That's why it's a trash lineup. If they were good, it'd be a 5K. We couldn't play them.
That's the point, though. Like, if you want to play Yu Darvish and Bieber lineups, or Freddie Peralta and Bieber, or whatever, you're going to have to take some of these shitty stacks or shitty bats to make it work. You can't just play Xander Bogaerts and Judge and Stanton and JD Martinez. We can't just make those lineups. Those lineups
nice.
don't exist. Yeah. Well, it would be nice, right? I mean, we would all win every night. Like, it would just be like, play.
Head on a super draft. You can get 1x your points on all these guys. That's a great strategy.
There you go.
Not a good strategy.
No, it's not. So, guys, giveaway we're going to do in a second. We're going to give away, or the kid is going to give away an $88 ticket for MLB, for the big MLB contest, and he's going to give away an $88 ticket for the NBA contest as well. We're going to pick the winner for the $88. It's going to be a member, but he's also giving away 2 monthly subscriptions to Run Pure Sports. So we're going to pick one now, and then the NBA show is going to pick one later. But from the chat, so what I need from you guys from the chat, first of all, hit that like button. Second of all, write like not a member, so we make sure to choose someone who does not have a monthly subscription or is not a member at Run Pure Sports. So write not a member in the chat. We're first going to pick the winner from the Discord. Tony, do you want to pick the winner from the Discord? And DC, do you want to find someone from the chat who says not a member? Pick someone from there. For DC, you'll be for the monthly subscription, and Big T, you'll pick the winner from the Discord for the $88 ticket.
I gotta pull up chat. I don't have it up, so maybe you can handle that, JSU.
Yeah,
all right, I got
JSU will
chat.
pick a winner.
I'll pick a winner for the subscription. Tony, do you have the winner for the?
I'm pulling it
still
up
looking?
too.
Okay,
Yeah, let's
I'm gonna wait.
Let's give it to Jay Burton. I like Jay Burton's mojo. He said DC bagel bites for dinner, shipping for dessert. He's got the bagel bites on a little plastic plate. It looks like. I love that. I love the mojo right there.
Yeah.
Jay Burton 18, you're the winner for the $88 ticket. Thanks to the kid. Brent kept passing that good mojo on.
So Jay Burton, all you got to do is DM the kid. He'll get you all set up and hooked up. Let's see here. I'm going to let the not a member, flow for another 30 seconds or 60 seconds. While I do that, why don't you guys give your top play for a pitcher and top play for a hitter? So then we can get out of here.
Before we do that, like I never talk about the likes. I hate talking about the likes. But how do we only have 48 likes?
No, that's wrong. That's
48.
Wrong.
Maybe my thing's not updated because it couldn't have been right. I don't think I've ever had a show.
That would be like a career low. It would not feel good. It would be hurtful.
We got 231 is what I'm looking at right now.
So mine just hasn't updated. I got to feed the gerbils or something here that it's not updating.
Listen, would we like a few more likes? I mean, yeah, of course we do.
No, we're good. If we're at 250 or whatever, that's I see 48 and I couldn't believe it.
Here's my point with the likes is if you actually like the content that we're giving you, which is free content, and you are someone who watches this show daily and you're not a subscriber for sure, then just hit the like button. Like, then you definitely like the show. You appreciate the good info that we're giving you, and just hit the like
How
button.
could you
That's
not
what
appreciate
I'm
all the
saying.
winners either? And the dude in the chat that just, I hope JSU picks that dude, but he said like it and unlike it, and it updates. I did, and now it says 248. The guy just gave me a cheat code. I know how to do it now.
I'm looking through. We got so many, not a member. I'm trying to look through it, giving everyone a fair shake here as we go through it. Tony, do you want to give your favorite plays while I find someone in the chat? Top hitter.
So top hitter, like I said, I mean, you got a lot of ways you can go. I want it to be someone sneaky, someone that no one's going to play. Who's my favorite? I mean, I always like Kiermaier, but I'm going to go off the board completely with my boy Jordy Mercer right out of the gate in the 8-hole versus a lefty. Will be low owned. Big platoon, carry the name on. He's going to hit a bomb. Let's go.
There's no Jordy Mercer is like the poster boy for Big Platoon, so that's a good pick from Big T. Very
Big Platoon
workbench play, big Platoon's workbench play of the day. Jordy Mercer, DC. How are you going to top that one? You better give me a good one here to top that Jordy Mercer play.
Oh man, so many choices, but I have to go with my guy Mitch Garver, who is just by far the best in a way play at catcher. He will hit a home run in his first at bat, deep to left center field. I'm thinking second deck in target field, maybe off a changeup. So yeah, Mitch Garver going deep. I could see a double dong from him, frankly, tonight. He's the best play at catcher, and then pitcher. Yeah, I'll give two. I'll give the best combo tonight. It's Shane Bieber. It's Robbie Ray. Those guys will get you to the winner's circle.
All right. And I think I found my winner. My guy, Jay Reed, in chat. Jay Reed, I love Jay Reed. He's a member, great guy. And he says, JSU, give Michael Moore the sub. Michael Moore, I'm assuming you're not a member. I'm assuming you wrote that in chat. So Michael Moore, you are the winner of the free monthly subscription, and we're actually going to add on the bet side as well for you. So you're not only going to get the DFS side, we are going to add in the bet side for you for free. So you are going to get the DFS and the bet side for your subscription for the month. All right. So Michael Moore, you're the winner. All you have to do is email info@RunPureSports. Email info@RunPureSports. Let them know you're the guy who won the monthly subscription. They'll get you all set up with how you're going to go about getting your, free code and how you go about getting that process set up. And there you go. If you have any issues too, you can hit our Run Pure Sports account up on Twitter account up. You can hit them up, say, hey, what do I do again? But info@RunPureSports, hit them up, let them know you won, and they'll take care of you, Michael Moore. And guys, don't forget, we got a basketball show coming up and right away when we get off, and they're going to be giving away some more stuff, probably right when the show ends. So make sure to stay tuned for that. They're going to give away another free membership, monthly membership, and an $88 ticket to NBA, I'm pretty sure. So make sure to stay and watch that NBA show. They'll be doing that giveaway. But I think that's going to do it for us, guys. For me, I know I didn't give away any plays, but I'm definitely playing Shane Bieber. I'm not fading Shane Bieber, and I'm definitely paying up at pitcher today. That is something I'm going to do, both spots, and I'll find my hitters. I'm going to give my hitter as Adolis Garcia at 3K. He's going deep. And after he does, I'm going to call Big T. It's going to be like that time when I left Big T that message. I forget what it was, Big T, but I went on for like a good couple minutes talking. I'm going to do it again. I'm just going to leave a message talking about my Texas
phone
stack.
to ring very often then.
Oh, baby, I can't wait. For every home run, I'm going to leave Big T a message. For every home run from Texas. DC, I can't wait. I can't wait to call Big T multiple times today. But that's going to do it for us, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. For me, JSU, DC, Big T. We are out.